The workflow for the CIET is simple and sequential. It begins when the school admin or the DCE initiates the CIET. The student then completes their midterm self-evaluation, sends it to their CI. The CI completes training, if it's needed, on how to complete the CIET, and then evaluates the student's performance at midterm. Once the CI is done with their evaluation of the student's performance, they send it to the school. The school reviews the student and CI's evaluations, and once reviewed, begins the process for the final self-evaluation for the student. The student completes their final self-evaluation, sends it to their CI, who no longer needs to attest to whether or not the training has been completed. They simply complete the final evaluation of the student, send it to the school. The school reviews the final evaluation of the student and self-evaluation completed by the student, and the CIET is considered complete. To look at each step in more depth, we'll look first at the way that the DCE sets up the CIET. To access the CIET, click on Activities, and then CIET. You'll be taken to a screen that shows a list of batches or cohorts for which the CIET has been activated. If you don't see the cohort you're looking for, click Add New. Type in the name of the cohort and a brief description, and then click Save. That cohort will now appear on its own line. You'll notice that the line is blank, which means the CIET has not yet been set up for any session. To set it up for a session, now click Add Sessions. This will take you to a wizard that begins with a list of all of the sessions created within Exxat. Select the session that you're looking for and click Next. Select the forum that you want to set up. Here is the CIET forum, and again, click Next. You'll see a list of all of the students that are registered for the session that you selected. You can select just a few students, or click the down arrow and choose Select All. Once you've selected the students that you'd like to set the CIET up for, click Next. Finally, you'll select the school admins that should have access to review the midterm and final CIETs after they've been completed by the students and CIs. Again, you can select individual admins or click the down arrow and select all. Once you've selected the admins that you're interested in having review the CIET, click Next and review the details. You can confirm the details by clicking the plus sign next to the students or admins to expand the list and see who's been included. Once you ensure all the details are correct, click Submit. This session now appears in a red bubble on the line for the batch which you created. Clicking the red bubble will bring you to the repository summary, where you'll see two sections, Actions Required and All Records, both of which are empty for now. Remember, the CIET is initiated by the student, so until the student creates the form, nothing will appear here. The student begins the workflow by going to My Activities and clicking on CIET. They then select the session that they'd like to create the form for. Only the sessions that you set up in your repository summary will appear here. Students are then taken to their own repository summary, where again they will see two blank sections. The green button in the upper corner has a 0, letting us know that there are 0 active CIET forms currently for this session. They'll click the Add CIET form to begin the process. When completing their self-evaluation, students will have access to instructions, operational definitions, and the validity article throughout the process. After completing their self-evaluation, they'll click Submit and be prompted to confirm that they are ready to submit their self-evaluation. They'll then send their self-evaluation to their clinical instructor. Students are only able to share this form with one instructor. If they have more than one instructor, the instructors will need to collaborate to complete a single form. Students will select the clinical instructor from the drop-down containing instructors that they entered through CI details, and then click Send to CI for review. They'll be returned to their repository summary page where they'll now see a 1 in the green bubble, indicating that they have one active evaluation form for this session. The Actions Required section is empty, as no action is required from the student at this time. Clicking on All Records will show a green status indicator that says that the midterm has been sent to the CI. Throughout the system, all statuses where the CI is in possession of the form will be green, all statuses where the form is in possession of the student will be gold, and all statuses where the form is in possession of the school will be purple. The CI begins the workflow for the CIET when they receive an email with a delegator link, which provides them access to view the student's self-evaluation and complete their evaluation of the student's performance without need for login or password. Clicking this link takes the CI to a checkpoint where they will be asked if they've completed the training on how to assess a student using the CIET. This question is answered based on the honor system. If they choose yes, they'll be allowed to proceed directly to complete the CIET. If they choose no, they'll be asked to complete a training. During the training, CIs will watch a 10-minute video and then complete a 20-question quiz on which they must score a minimum of 75% in order to proceed to completion of the CIET. When taking the quiz, they will have access to instructions, operational definitions, and the validity study throughout the process. If the CI does not pass the quiz, a pop-up will appear prompting them to retake the quiz. If they do pass, a green button will appear allowing them to proceed to complete the CIET. The CI will see the student's self-evaluation in read-only format when completing their evaluation and again have access to the instructions, operational definitions, and validity study throughout. The CI will complete their evaluation of the student, and note here that the CI has assigned low scores in the professional behaviors section. That'll be important later. At the end of the CIET, the CI will be asked if the student is performing at a level that is satisfactory given their current level of education. If they answer no, a pop-up will prompt them to contact the academic program immediately. If they answer yes, and your program uses benchmarks, the setting and curriculum-specific expectations that are unique to your program, the CI will confirm that they're ready to submit the CIET and proceed to the benchmarks. Here, the CI will have the opportunity to check the corresponding boxes related to the items that the student has successfully completed, and then hit Submit. Again, they will be asked if they're ready to truly submit their work, and click OK. Depending on your program's preferences, either following submission of the CIET alone or CIET and benchmarks, the CI will see a screen confirming and thanking them for their completion of the CIET. Once the student has completed their self-evaluation and the CI has completed their evaluation of the student, the tool then comes to the school for review. Again, to access the CIET, you'll click Activities and CIET, then select the session that you're interested in. In your repository summary, you'll now see records populated in the Actions Required tab. The Actions Required tab shows all of the evaluations that you must take action on. Note that all of these have purple status indicators, reflecting that all of these are in possession of the school. While the Actions Required tab is a nice place to see what's needed of you, we strongly recommend working from the All Records section. You can double-click the status column to bring all records in possession of the school to the top. What's nice here in the All Records section is that you will see red flags. These are indicative of students who scored poorly, either never, rarely, or sometimes on any question in the professional behaviors section. Clicking on a red flag will allow you to enter notes related to the reason for the flag and/or view notes that were entered previously. Clicking on the green arrow in the Actions column will take you to the CIET, where you can review the student's self-evaluation and the CI's evaluation of the student side by side in a read-only view. At the bottom, you'll be given an opportunity to write any comments, And if your school utilizes benchmarks, review the benchmarks checked off by the CI. When you click Review, you'll be prompted to confirm whether or not you are truly finished with your review. Clicking Review on the midterm evaluation automatically distributes the final evaluation. Students will see that the review has been completed and will be able to begin their final self-evaluation by clicking the green arrow in the Actions column to begin the process again.